Hi guys, I'm gonna show you how to import your own custom models into Flight Simulator 2020. For this tutorial, you need two sets of models and their textures, and we'll be using Blender as the export software. So make sure you have your test models and textures prepared and get Blender ready. I highly recommend you to prepare two different models because it'll help you understand what's happening during the workflow. Because normally you'll be exporting a bundle of models instead of just one test model. So before we start, I'm going to give you a checklist of things you'll be doing. Follow the steps and you should be able to see your models in the game. First thing you're going to do is to launch Flight Simulator and then enter developer mode. Simply click options and find this tab, hit apply and save, and you should be able to see some drop down menus. I forgot to mention that in this tutorial you're supposed to be installing the core SDK before you start. This can easily be done in the game once you have the developer mode on. Simply find the help tab from the drop down menu and hit SDK installer. It is a simple process, so do it now before you proceed. When you're done, the next thing you have to do is to launch a flight. You cannot do anything without loading the map in, and the only way to load the map in is to launch a flight. So do it now. Now you want to release your camera from the player view by clicking developer's camera. Now your camera control should be the same as a game engine such as Unreal. You click Alt right mouse button to zoom, Alt middle mouse button to pan, Alt left mouse button to rotate. Next, we're going to create a project. Click New Project, give it a name, and we're all set. Upon creating a project, it'll ask you to create a first item, and this is kind of mandatory. You'll hit Package, Next, Custom, and give it a name. Remember, this is the actual name that will be displayed in the content browser. So if you're sharing it with other players, this is what they'll read. And then the content type, choose scenery because we're essentially making a scenery mod. And then hit next and give it an asset group name. How you name it is not important, but beware that the asset type should be BGL. You don't need to know what it is, you just need to know that the project has to have a BGL. After this step, you're done creating an empty project. Next, you want to make sure your package is selected, and then in the inspector you should see Add Asset Group. Click this, Custom, Next. This time switch the type to Model Library. This is the group for you to put your models in, so give it a proper name. I'll just name it Bundle 2. Hit Create. Now I want you to navigate to your project folders and verify that your library folder has been created. If you wonder where is your project folder, check this place. Once you located it, go to Package Sources. You should be able to see a folder with the same name as your model library. If you see this, you're all set for now. Now we go to Blender and install the SDK. Download the SDK. I'll put the link in the description. Pause this video and do it now. Once you have the SDK download, go back to Blender, hit Edit, Preference, and find Add-on tab. Hit install and find the zip files you downloaded. You cannot unpack the zip file, otherwise Blender won't recognize it. Once you're done, you should be able to see this in the installed add-on list. Next, you're going to load in your models. If you're not familiar with the 3D assets editing in Blender, you're going to learn some Blender basic first. Once you have the model in, you want to go to the Material tab, go down to the Flight Simulator 2020 Material Parameters sections, and switch the type to Standard. Now scroll down to the Texture sections and choose your texture file. You can view the result in the Material mode. Next, we go to the M panel. You can uncheck the Show Hidden Objects. What it does is that it tells the SDK to stop detecting objects that you have hidden. I find that very important when your project gets complicated and you might accidentally export something you don't want. For each of the models you have, check Generate XML and then check the model itself. Keep LOD values to 0. Assign an export path and then go to the settings. Give a name to the texture folder. And I want you to avoid using the word texture because it'll help you understand something important later on. After this, you can go back to Objects and hit Export. Now go to your export folder. You'll see the files being generated. You want to create a folder and tidy things up a bit. Now, you should end up with a folder with the models and a folder with your texture. Now, remember your model library folders that was created back then? I want you to copy these folders and drop them in there. Now pay attention. Change the texture folder name to texture. This is how the game knows where you put your texture files. Now go back to the game and find the build package button and hit it. When the debug console appears, if you see 0 error, you should be good. Now go to Object Panel and type in the name of your package here. There, those are your models. You can now add models into the world. Fiddle with the options to know what you can do. Press W to move positions. Press E to rotate, and press R to scale. While you're being creative about it, I want you to constantly double check that your package and assets doesn't say none. If it says none, then none of your work will be saved. If this happens, simply select your package and then hit load this asset group. When you're done placing your models, hit save scenery. If this is the first time you're saving your scenery, it'll ask you where to save it. Do not randomly pick a spot to save it because it needs to be saved at your BGL folder. It is located in the package resources. Scenery, whichever name you give it to your BGL. Go inside the folders and save it there. Otherwise the game doesn't know where to find it. Once you're done saving, hit build all and then hit build and export. Just give it a folder and check the package and export. The last step is for you to put your exported package into your community folder. You can find the folder from Tools, Visual File System, and click Open Community Folder. Find your exported files, open the zip folder, go inside the package contents, and find that one folder with your package name on it. Drop that into the community folder, and do not mess with the folder hierarchy. Otherwise the game won't recognize it. Don't add more layers to the folder. Don't remove any either. Now launch your game and enjoy. I hope this tutorial helped you putting your own house into the game or whatever you are trying to do. If you're doing it for the first time, chances are you'll have to try several times before you finally see your creations in the game. I'll try to answer any questions in the comment sections, and I hope to see your creations in the future. And I'll see you all guys next time. Bye.